Warning, this vid contains minor spoilers. Just don't ask for which eroge I jerked off to. This Nukige is from Norn/Meal. I don't know if they're separate companies or whatever. I just looked up in Just. But what I do know is that this studio is popular in making Nukige. So we have a protagonist called Kazuma, who's a rebellious son that was supposed to be the successor to a martial arts dojo. But his ass was kicked off to an isolated island because he's a lazy fool. On this island, there is believed to be a demon whom the protagonist has to slay due to his dad's orders. However, instead of a demon, it's actually a dog god, and a delicious looking one at that. That's what the Inugami in the title means, a dog god or a spirit in Japanese. Anyway, the delicious looking Inugami was willing to teach the MC her way of martial arts so that he could appease his father, but at a price, of course, and obviously you know what that price is. Not my first time playing this, but for the sake of recording it, it took me around 4 hours and a minute to finish this VN, which is the average for Nukige. As for VNDB, it's ranging from 2 hours to 10. Well, those that took 10 hours enjoyed themselves a bit more, I guess. The horny degenerate and the piece of art. Alright, the MC here is, well, good enough. Can be cheesy and cliche at times, but he's acceptable. At least he's a healthy young man that puts in effort into his martial arts training under the Inugami's tutelage. But we all know the reason why he's doing this, and that's because of the reward that awaits him if he does train. I mean, hey, if you got the option to get laid with a hot waifu after working hard, you'll be the most diligent person in the fucking universe. Because this is how man sees sex.
We'll buy it, we'll kill you about it, we'll beg you for it, we'll lie about it, and at the end of the day, we'll lay down our life for it.
Anyway, yeah, decent MC. On the other hand, the piece of art is an outgoing yet strict character. She's lived for over like 1,000 years, if I recall correctly, and she's immortal, which has proven to be a curse to her rather than a gift. Some of her yearns to have human contact to keep her company, but she doesn't show it due to her previous sad experiences. And, well, this Inugami can be quite arrogant of her strength sometimes, but it's understandable because she's got the experiences to back her up through all those years of martial arts. And that's pretty much all the characters. Being the short VN that it is, and the category that it's under, there is legit nothing much to say about it. Like seriously, the options page is the most basic of basics. But I like that they have the face animations and the x-ray shots for a more in-depth experience, if you know what I mean. Oh, and if any of you cultured degenerates know what this thing means, let me know in the comments down below. Despite the settings being really basic, I don't have to deal with the eyesore of that muting voices page. Thank God. Here in the extras page, you have the standard categories required for a VN, so nothing special there. As for the English translation, there are a few mistakes as shown on screen, and most of them are at the end of the VN, which I think is because the translators were already tired to translate after jacking off too much, lol. Story structure is linear, but this VN isn't a kinetic one, meaning that you get some choices. And I'm just thankful that the choices matter to a certain extent, like different choices lead you to different hit scenes, and that's perfect. But I'll bring up a diagram of the structure itself if you're interested into the details. Please forgive my bad presentation. Now, the story is simple. There is no deep plot in this Nukige, which is to be expected, unless you're talking about the other definition of the plot, and then, yeah, they're big. But to simplify it, it's just a man undertaking martial arts training from a Doggirl and getting laid as a reward. Well, there are some romance moments involved, though I would say that some are cliche and corny, which I didn't like. That being said, despite the story being simple, it is decent. It's not bad for a Nukige. You can also see some form of character growth for the MC. Not the best development, of course, but it's there at least. And normally, I wouldn't care much about the pacing in a Nukige, but due to me giving a crap about the plot, I just wish that the story was stretched a bit more, like showing more of the martial arts training in order to balance it out with the H scenes. As for the ending, it's okay, not that good to me personally, and could have added something more to make it a bit more wholesome, but I would say it's well enough. For the bad stuff, firstly, I hate that the voice cuts when you proceed to the next text before the voice line finishes. Okay, I read fast, but I do like to have the previous voice lines continuing in the background regardless. It's kind of awkward to have the voices cut when you progress to the next text, you know, like with the silence, especially during the H scenes. Like, God. The H scenes aren't as enjoyable when the voices are interrupted. Besides that, the orgasm phase, I didn't particularly like it. There are some background music that feel off in some scenes, and there are sound effects that just felt stupid and unsuitable. I think the scene kind of wants to give you a tense and suspenseful atmosphere, but the execution is not that great. And the most important of all, Akeno, this holy sacred expression that is the mother of all expressions doesn't exist in this VN. Why? I mean, I know it doesn't fit her character, but I don't give a shit. This is a Nukige. It's a sin to not have it. Anyway, good stuff. I'm actually satisfied to read about the MC here. Putting aside the corny, cheesy, whatever, I do like his resilience towards the harsh training from the Doggirl. Well, mainly because he gets to smash her in the end, but you get the point. To add to that, he implements what he learns, so that's good to see. What he implements is not just limited to martial arts though. Even in bed does he apply what Tomoe has taught him, and it makes the character interaction between the two that much better. Last but not least, the fun stuff, naturally. But let's save it for the next section. Shall we? Ten scenes total, with 4 through the choices that I showed in the story structure section. You get the whole vanilla package. Fella, missionary, doggy, obviously. Cowgirl, 6ix9ine, cosplay, and pregnant. My personal favorite scene is the doggy one, because duh, she's a dog girl. You have doggy and dog girl. It's the perfect match. But also because the character interaction in this particular scene was the best to me. I also freaking love that she cosplayed as a shrine maiden, because to me, shrine maidens are the fucking best. Like, best girl. Akeno, come on. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't enjoy hentai that has pregnant tags, though that won't stop me from enjoying the abundance of the rest. However, I do again want to point out that I hate the voice cuts. The hit scenes... Damn. To make matters worse, there are no sound effects like sliding or clapping. It's kind of a turn off, but I have relieved myself to this Nukige multiple times, so it's done its job enough. As for the length of the scenes, well, the average in my opinion, which is good, I guess. Oh yeah, the H scenes has those X-ray shots where you get to see inside when the essence of life has been released into their rightful habitat. Yeah, I'm so on this feature, meaning that if it's there, I'll use it, but if it's not, then I don't mind. Anyway, I think that's enough of me talking about ecchi here, so let's wrap it up. To conclude, this Nukige is better than the average Nukige in my honest opinion. I put it as one of my favorites. It's got a decent story despite being simple and sometimes corny, and I appreciate the effort of putting in some writing there. I would say there is a progression of story here rather than just sequences of events like a typical Nukige. So my total Degen score would be a 7.5. Could have been an 8 if they added So yeah, feel free to release everything out to this VN. And that's all from me. Hope you guys can like and subscribe if the content is degenerate enough. Later, gents.